if can I screw it up? Is how bad is it going to be screwed up? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chase and Jay Show. Tonight, live in studio, riding in the Ozarks, joins us. We're going to talk about BBB. Here in just a minute, we're going to have the general manager of Pig Trail Harley-Davidson, Kyle. Don't remember his last name. He'll join us directly, and so let's start the show. Mike, how you been, brother?
I am good, and Kyle's last name is Johnson.
Johnson, there we go. Kyle Johnson, general manager, Pig Trail Harley-Davidson, right there in Rogers, Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm lucky to consider Kyle a friend. I have his phone number. We chat once or twice, well, maybe a little more than that during the off season, besides BBB, but about Harley stuff or sales or things like that. So we catch up every once in a while.
I met him a few times. He seems like a solid dude.
Very much so.
Yeah, so now, Mike, we obviously just saw each other at Bike Fest Lake of the Ozarks, right? I guess that'll be a couple of weeks ago. Here come this weekend.
Yep.
And then you are coming down for Bikes, Blues and BBQ / Rally Off 86 Friday.
I will be there. I'll get into the area Thursday night. Don't know exactly where we're staying Thursday night, but we're supposed to have a motel in the area Thursday night. We'll be over at Pig Trail on Friday, and then doing a meet and greet there in the afternoon from like 12:30 to 2. And somebody's got a vicious dog.
Yeah.
At least they
Max.
think so. And then we'll go over to the Cat House from 5 to 7. Do another meet and greet over there in Eureka Springs, and then we've got to roll out for Springfield Friday night.
Oh man, you're leaving Friday night. That's gonna be a fun, action-packed evening. Sounds like.
Well, it is. It's going to be a busy day. We had some commitments prior to the date change on BBB. So we committed last year on Saturday to do a breast cancer awareness ride out of Renegade Harley-Davidson on Saturday. So we'll roll Friday night out and stay in Springfield, which is only an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And we'll do a breast cancer awareness ride that Firecracker is leading on Saturday morning. So that's one reason we're staying in Springfield, is that way we can get up, be fresh, not have to do a 2-hour run to get there, risk being late, something happening, something like that. So if something happens Friday night, we got all night to get there still.
Yeah. I saw April post that flyer. I'll snag that real quick, Jay. The breast cancer awareness flyer.
Yeah, it's a good cause. It'll be our first time doing this ride with them. We did a ride with them for International Female Ride Day. So we had made plans like early in the year or late last year, even like what key dates and events do they have that we could be a part of that kind of fit with the things we like to promote and the causes we like to ride for. So there it is.
Look at that.
First time I saw my logo in hot pink.
That's true.
That's true.
So yeah,
I saw an article post about that. So
and I think we have it's close enough to BBB that you could get up at 7 or 7:30 and jog up there and join us. His kickstand's up at 9:30, so I'd recommend leaving out. Plan on being in Springfield at the dealership by 9, just so you have time to sign up, say hi, that kind of thing. I think we've got a few people. Brian was one of them that's in the chat that's talked about joining us on that and stuff. He's going to be coming, I think, from Milwaukee that day. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it in time for that, or if we're going to meet him later that day, maybe on our way back home. We'll actually go home on Saturday night and spend the night there, because Sunday we're going to get up and go to St. Louis for another event, our third event in 3 days.
I like Brian's idea here. You should dye your beard pink. I think that's.
If we can find a washout, we might. But I am not going to the Rat Run with the pink beard. Let's just say the Rat Run has a fair amount of local club participation. I know some of those guys, and I just don't think I want to hang out at the bar with them with the pink beard. They might get it, but they might not get it either. I don't want to give them the wrong impression.
Hey,
I'm not the new mascot for Bud Light.
October's around the corner, and there's got to be a Spirit Halloween close to you guys. There's got to be some kind of spray-on hair dye.
I'm sure I can find something off Amazon, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Before we go any further, so we've got Brian in the chat. Welcome, Brian. We've got XAN, who is a loyal watcher. Thank you, XAN. We got 87 Ricer. We've got the Wagonators. I don't know if it's both one or the other. We have Lone Cowboy Ken. Ken, you've been on that bike a lot lately. I feel like, you're usually on the bike, but I feel like here recently you're like, I'm going to go 400 miles today. So
he didn't get enough miles at work.
Yeah, right.
I've been that way all the way. I've been all that way since up till Bike Fest. But then Harley-Davidson hit their goal for the donations, and I started looking at my rear tire, and I'm like, okay, do I want to get a tire before we go to Born Free Texas, or can I ride the other bikes and just putt around for local stuff on different bikes and save the Street Glide for the Born Free Texas run, because that'll be another 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do a pretty good bit of miles in a year, at least, when you have to start planning around your tires.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you really do. It's a thing.
I plan around tires and oil changes. We're going to Milwaukee. That's going to be 1,100 miles. My next free weekend is this weekend. Do I need to do an oil change before or after? I could squeeze one in off after work, but I hate to. In my evenings, I try and do a little bit of work on videos and things like that. And if I got to work on bikes during the week, then I don't get anything done for social media.
XAN, he's always keeping us on track here with our likes and subscribes and all that stuff. So I gotta shout that out,
Yeah. So Brian said he was going to be trying to be in Springfield by Friday night. So originally he wasn't sure he could get down there till like late Saturday. So I'm wondering what kind of stretch he's going to make that happen, because I think he's coming from Milwaukee, and we had Jeff in the chat also that's in Milwaukee, checking in tonight from Milwaukee.
What's up, Milwaukee?
Oh, I'm glad I was about to pop that up and be like, what's MKE? But there we go, Milwaukee. All right.
Well, you obviously haven't been to Harley-Davidson's homecoming rally in Milwaukee, or watching their Milwaukee videos, because they'll talk about love from MKE. And so, gotcha. That's the abbreviation for Milwaukee.
I don't think it's any secret that I ride a BMW. And I've ridden several BMWs back to back. So,
well, I had a buddy who was diehard Honda, and he bought a Street Glide just for cruise control and the fairing. You never know. You might have to buy a Harley just so you can get wheel bearings on time.
I've got spares now. I've been joking with people. I'm like, when you like people who have vintage bikes or like older bikes, you kind of have to hoard parts when they're when they stop making them and stuff. I'm like, I have to hoard parts for my new bike because they take like a month to get here. So I got to have like spares of the normal stuff just so I can get it changed quick.
Yeah, I keep a set of non-ABS bearings and a set of ABS bearings for from everything that's 2000 and up that we own.
Mm-hmm.
When every time I've ever had to put a bike on a trailer, and Jay was there when we put firecrackers on there, it was over wheel bearings.
Yep.
Every time I put in the last 10 years, the only time I've ever had to trailer a Harley-Davidson has been over wheel bearings. So when we went to Sturgis, we packed a little scissors lift, a wheel bearing puller, and wheel bearings in the safety vehicle. And we had no issues because of that.
Right. You bought the insurance, so you didn't need to use it.
Yep.
Man, shit, as difficult as those wheel bearings were to change, I may just buy an extra wheel with new bearings in it. Just hot swap.
So
3K
Brian,
on 18. Jay, how many miles do you drive a week? Now that he said 3K, I'm curious.
Well, we're in the same thing, but we do different jobs. I'm probably about 1,200, 1,500 a week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it looks like Brian's saying now that he's going to fly up to Milwaukee to get his bike on the 2nd and fly and ride back the 3rd. So he's going to, if he leaves Milwaukee on the 3rd, he can be in St. Louis or in Springfield that night. We did from St. Louis, we did Milwaukee in like 5.5, 6 hours. Yeah. And then he'll have another 3.5 to Springfield. So it's a 10 or 12 hour ride, probably, I would guesstimate. So, if he leaves by 10 a.m., he may get in kind of late, but he'll make her in okay.
Yeah, I've only ridden past Milwaukee once to Duluth at 4 a.m. So that's my only experience.
Well, this year was my first year riding Milwaukee for homecoming, and I want to go back, but I want to go around the peninsula and do the loop and all that.
I will say, yeah, up around that area, it's really, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're used to seeing, but it's a totally different kind of nature, like with all the pine trees and all the lakes and everything just everywhere, back and forth, back and forth. It's pretty surreal to run through there.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for your patience.
No worries.
How's everybody doing?
Doing
Awesome.
good. It's good to see you, Kyle.
Yeah, you too, Mike. What's up?
Yeah,
I've been keeping them busy. I mean, it's a struggle. I'm not really good at public speaking and all, but I managed to fill the dead air. So while we waited on you.
Oh, I knew you had it in you. You adapt all the time.
Yeah, that's why when you were like, I'm gonna be a few minutes, I was like, all right, we'll just talk to Mike for a while. We know Mike's good for it,
Right on.
So Kyle, I know we've met a couple of times. Mike has introduced us a couple of times, honestly, over the years. So I think Jay, we talked about this a little bit beforehand. This is obviously going to be focused on Bikes, Blues and BBQ and Rally Off 86. But since you've never been on the stream or on any of our channels, I don't think, at least on me and Jay's channel, would you mind giving us a little rundown of kind of what you do, where you came from, how you became the Harley guy in Rogers, all that kind of stuff?
Sure. Yep. Right now, you want me to start?
Yeah,
Yes,
go
sir.
for it.
Right on. Well, I'm Kyle Johnson. I'm now the general manager of Pig Trail Harley-Davidson. My family opened the store in 2006. So my dad worked Walmart for his corporate life, got tired of that, retired in 2003. He was a Harley guy. He had, at the time, a CVO Deuce and a CVO Road King, and had a big Harley dream. Whenever he retired, he wanted to open his own business. Harley put an ad out, and back then it was USA Today, that they were looking to put a point in our market. So he went through the application process, applied, all that. Him and my mother and my grandfather was a minority investor, and then they found a dealer down in Texas. At the time, it was American Eagle Harley, and they were a minority investor. So fortunately, they won the process and got to open the dealership. 2006, we opened our doors. I was about 20 years old, going to college, and started working there part-time. I was going to school for like finance and stuff, man. Stocks. Thought I wanted to be a wealth investor or a wealth advisor type thing, help people manage their money. And I was started in the detail shop, detailing bikes, cleaning toilets, floors, delivering bikes, grunt work, and fell in love with the motorcycles, the culture, the people. I mean, when you're working in the detail shop, you see all the cool bikes, and like whenever you're polishing that stuff, you really get to like admire what Harley-Davidson's about and see how people customize their bikes and all that. So I graduated college in 2009 and got like a finance and marketing degree. Doesn't mean anything, really. And then decided I was going to take a job at our shop and took over the rental department and helped in like marketing at the time. So, man, just fell in love with the culture, the industry. It was definitely solid. I couldn't see myself in a suit and tie, and then I took over the general manager job in 2018 after being in sales and finance for about almost 10 years. So, and now here we are. It's 2025 and still going.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking about it because this is the 25th anniversary of Bikes, Blues and BBQ. And I believe, Jay, we were talking about this is the 4th year in Rogers. I think my shirt was from the 2022, the first year that it moved to Rogers. So what was your first Bikes, Blues and BBQ?
So 2006. No, actually, before we opened, we went down there in 2005 and had a small footprint, letting people know we were coming next year. So that would have been the first time I went to it. And I did security. When I was going to college, like 07 maybe, I went down and did like security they were looking for volunteers, and I was going to the U of A at the time. So
heck, we were probably at the U of A at the same time, give or take, there at some point.
Yeah.
Some overlap.
04 to 09.
Yep. No, that's awesome. Now, I was curious because, it's like I've talked to you a little bit at the store and everything, but, to Jay's point, we usually try to do like a past, present, future thing, which just is kind of an event stream. But he was like, well, let's hear some more about Kyle. Let's not just talk about BBB, because we got plenty of people in the chat, that may not know you or may not be from this area. We tend to get some folks from further away than we expect. So there you go. There you go, chat. He is the GM of Picture Harley-Davidson and Rogers. And I guess you would have started Rally Off 86, right? That was under your leadership?
Yeah. So we probably 2018, 19, something like that. Really stole the idea from Black Hills Harley. So they're the
Rally Off Exit 55.
Yeah. And they're really good at marketing and their rally. So I was like, you know what? We're a little bit off the interstate. Let's go with this. So we've stuck with it since then, and really ramped it up in 2020 when the official rally shut down. Fayetteville wouldn't let them have it, and so we really started promoting it hot and heavy because that whole dynamic.
Yeah, I remember that because that Jay, the rally that wasn't right.
Yeah,
2020, and then 2021 was when they got kicked out of Fayetteville, basically, right?
Yeah.
And really just Rally Off 86 and Bike Fest Eureka Springs that year, and then the following year Rogers picked it back up, right, and started.
Yeah.
Crazy to think. It feels like there's pre-COVID and post-COVID. That's like our split in our lives. It's like the time after.
So how long have y'all been coming?
Gosh, I want to say my first Bikes, Blues and BBQ. Probably 2003, 2004, I want to say.
Early days, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I had friends that were kind of adjacent in motorcycle clubs and stuff. Like my friends' parents really were in motorcycle clubs, so I kind of, ended up going and hanging out and kind of watching the spectacle and stuff even before I really rode, bikes or anything. And it was just kind of a thing. It was a huge deal in Fayetteville. So I did that for years and years and years, and then 2020, I think, was the first time that I went to the Rally Off 86 or, after that started, because my wife and I had moved up here from both going to college in Fayetteville and living in Fayetteville and Springdale and everything like that. And so, no, I'm always impressed. I was looking at your website here for your sort of vendor list and everything, and it just blows my mind how much traction you guys get on the Rally Off 86. Like there's just so much going on.
Mike, when was your first year to BBB or Rally of 86?
Well, I've either beat Chase by a year or tie him, depending on when he went. I went in, I think, 02. I moved back to Missouri from Tennessee in 02, and I went either right after I moved back or 03 was the latest. If I went and dug my leather vest out with the patches on it, which I think is down at the shop where the bikes are parked, it's got my BBB first patch and my Sturgis first patch. So,
what'd you ride that first year?
94 Dyna Lowrider.
Right on.
My very first Harley, black. Did they make a different color back then? Especially?
Hey, according to some, no.
Yeah, right.
Back in the 90s, they had some pretty cool teal colors.
Yeah, I still own that bike, although it's not in running order and needs to be repaired. And I didn't wreck it; someone else did. But that's a long story. There's a video on it somewhere on YouTube. And anyway, but it's been wrecked and in pieces since. Well, my daughter just turned 21, so it's been sitting on a lift stand for 20 years, unfired.
That's funny.
That's going to be a museum piece if you leave it up there much longer.
I've got a couple of those too. My dad has an 88 Springer Softail, which is the very first year of the Springer Softail, which is also an anniversary edition. It's numbered. There's only 1450 made that year. And that's in my shop. And I also have a 1999 Excelsior Henderson when they only brought him back for 2 years. He's got one of those, and it's in my shop as well.
You are starting a museum.
Right? Yeah, we need to do a.
We're gonna have a Biker's Garage, Missouri edition.
Yeah.
You have to start a museum and then donate those to your museum from you to you for the tax write-off.
I was gonna say, this just sounds like money laundering at this point. You know?
I mean, it's legal.
Yeah, we went to Anamosa, and I don't know if any of you guys ever got to that museum before they closed it after COVID, but the National Motorcycle Museum, and they had motorcycles in there that were kind of like consignment, donated to be there at the museum for some period of time. And there was at least 2 motorcycles in there mislabeled. The owner had told them what it was, and they weren't even right. That's frustrating. I'm looking at the bin. I'm like, no, that's not what that is.
Mike's in there with a Sharpie, on the little placard.
I mean, it was really hard to not like go back to the desk and say, do you not know what you have? Well, the owner tells us what they are, and we just put the tag on them. I'm like, okay, you guys need to get Joe Sparrow back up here and straighten this out.
Jay, what was your first BBB?
First year that Rogers had it. So what was that? 22.
22.
Yeah.
Yep. You never went to Fayetteville BBB. Learned something new about Jay tonight.
Yep. Never went to Dixon Street.
You want to know my best Dixon Street story? And it comes from my very first rally. This is probably what made me love BBB. In 2002, I was early 30s, and I was wearing a white T-shirt, and some gal who had her chest painted come up and was going to give me a hug. So I took the T-shirt off and flipped it inside out, so there was nothing on it, and then gave me a big hug with wet paint. I had 2 big boob prints on my brand new white T-shirt. I took it home and put it in a plastic sack and put it in my little memory chest. I still have it to this day somewhere buried.
His kids will inherit his booby shirt.
No, my daughters won't want it, but grandkids might.
That's awesome.
So, Kyle, what you got going on up at 86?
Yeah, man. So we got a lot of vendors coming in over 50. One of the exciting things this year, the Saddlemen race team is going to have their bikes on display at their display. So you'll be able to check out the Saddlemen race bikes. Corey West coming in. He'll be there for a couple days, signing autographs and be able to tell you about the race bikes. So that's pretty slick. Of course, we got Mike riding in the Ozarks, going to be there on Friday doing a meet and greet. Harley-Davidson demo truck will be on site. So downtown Rogers doesn't have a lot of great spaces for the demo truck. So plus Harley is doing a pilot with dealers with this VIP buyers club. So they want to be closer to the dealership. They're testing that out. So at our Rogers location, that'll be the one place for the demo truck and hog pen stop. We got a second beer point of sale on the back lawn, so people will be able to buy beer back there and the beer garden. And this year, the property is going to be stanchioned off to where people can walk around with the beers on site. So that we're pretty excited about, making a better shopping experience. Our boys from Clockworks will be there, putting on the latest, greatest windshields. Reinhardt exhaust. I believe we just added Jekyll and Hyde exhaust. I don't know if y'all have ever seen them. They're pretty nasty. Reminds me of an old like V8 boat, whenever you crank the exhaust on. It's got that real deep throaty sound. So it's called an electronic exhaust. They're coming in. Let's see. Our rep from Drag Specialties will be there, slinging some Zero products, cup holders, custom dynamics, lights, quick install stuff. And then, I see you got the list pulled up. We'll have some extra food trucks back there by the second beer point of sale. Let's see. Music. We got a little bit of blues. I think Kurt Allen's a blues band. Everybody's been asking for blues, so we'll see if they actually enjoy it. blues is great music. I love it, but typically when they do blues music, not as many people stand around and listen and drink beer. So
Yeah.
So we got a little bit on our property. Saturday night, our headliner band's going to be a 40 Ounces of Freedom Sublime Tribute starting at 5. So they're supposed to be really good. Excited to bring them in. Man, I got a ton of motorcycles for sale. So if anybody's looking for a motorcycle, I can't really advertise what I can do. Wink, wink. It's going to be a good time to buy. So I got a huge selection. New. We've accessorized a bunch. Got some custom painted bikes, which we always like to do that for the rally, showcase what Harley's about, and give people the opportunity to own something unique. Plus, we'll have our Harley finance team with some special financing available. So it really is always a good time to buy if you're in the market.
I'm holding out for next year. Maybe buy me a 26 Road King.
Oh, you're looking for Road King? So, Jay, are you waiting to see if they have a chrome one? Is that why you're waiting? What's your flavor?
Yeah, well, I'm waiting to see if there's going to be a Road King next year, but I'm not going to get in my shorts right now about it. So we'll see what happens.
I bet Mike will have a video coming up about some upcoming stuff.
Jay's already done a video on it last week.
Okay.
Mike may have a reactionary video coming to it. Me and Jay have already collaborated a little bit, but Jay's the Road King owner, so I thought he really should take the thunder on his feelings on it, and then I can expand on that.
Yeah.
Well, if there's not one next year, Mr. Kyle, I will be in the market for a slightly wrecked Road Glide.
Okay. Slightly wrecked. I got you.
Yeah, and maybe a lowrider wiring harness.
Okay.
So that way, it'll run, because I'm going to take some parts off of the Road Glide if I have to.
Okay.
I don't know if you have your notepad out, but you need to start a page that says Jay Sorsby and start writing this down, because he's got some really specific needs. Yeah, right.
Slightly wrecked Road Glide, lowrider wire harness. Okay. Frankenstein's coming together here.
If you take the fairing off the Road Glide and set it to the side, I mean, you pretty much got a Road King. I just got to make it run.
I feel you.
And without the screen and stuff, I don't know that it will do that. But it will do that if I had the wiring harness out of a lowrider.
So, on the Road King topic, do you want to hear a statement from Riding in the Ozarks that he's not put in a video yet?
Let's hear it.
I certainly do.
There will be no more Rush models next year.
Rush?
Yeah. So remember 2014 when they did the Rushmore?
Oh, Rushmore. Yeah.
Yeah. So there'll be no Rushmore models in 2026. That means no old fairing tri-glide, Road Glide fairing from that model style. I mean, that's the way I interpret that.
Yeah.
So and I would assume that means not the existing Road King, because that's that same body style. Although I don't know if it was technically part of the Rushmore project.
Yeah, I guess it was, because the saddlebags had that one touch, whenever they came out with the new lids, and the new steering head bearing was part of that release in 14, I think. So there was some.
Yeah, it definitely had some of the same commonalities.
I always like the speculation of upcoming, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'm trying to keep my powder dry, as it were.
I
had some things to say, and then now I'm just going to wait.
I got 2 or 3 hot topic videos I've got to make, and I've got a bunch of review stuff I owe vendors. So I'm torn. It's going to be like one of this, one of that, one of this, one of that, trying to keep up. But I got a bunch of comments on the Harley-Davidson Chinese Sportster, and I reached out to the motor company and got an official statement. So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
There we go.
I get all of my Harley-Davidson news and updates from Mike. So unless he's put out a video, I don't know it.
Yeah, Mike's got good ones. He breaks it down well, has it really well thought out. I like his finance videos too from the quarterly releases. I don't even have to go read them. I can go watch his.
He's just waiting for Mike's video to pop
Yeah,
up.
It's hard to
Mike-
understand them anyway, so when Mike breaks it down, you can actually get it.
Well, I break an hour down recording to about 12 minutes.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It's like,
Right.
yeah.
Hurry up and put your video out, Mike. I got a phone call to make. I need to know what I'm talking about.
So I didn't talk about Eureka, but we'll have vendors up in Eureka. Tons of free parking. We'll have, our event T-shirts on sale at both locations, Rogers and Eureka. We got a huge selection of end of season, merchandise that's going to be 50% off. So Melody, our apparel buyer, does a really good job finding great buys. So we got stocked up. Both locations will have a huge selection of half off or up to half off end of season apparel options. So people that like to shop and get some good buys will have that opportunity at both locations. Plus the anniversary T-shirts, a huge selection of those, poker chips, the normal knick-knack stuff that people love. We're going to have a DJ over there all weekend long, rocking it, keeping the party alive. We've got that stage that we built out there. We built it in the most horrible place on the property. So last year we did music and nobody really went to hang out there. So we're gonna try rocking things with a DJ up by the gazebo, in the middle of the property.
Now, luckily, I can fit Eureka Springs action on the screen. I can't really do Rogers, so you guys need to go to picture of Harley-Davidson / Rally Off Exit 86 2025 vendors if you want to check out the specifics. But I can fit my my Eureka in one page, so y'all can.
Yeah, we got about 20 on there. 20 vendors that'll be up there, sunglasses and leather and all kinds of headbands. We got badass knife vendor that comes in. And Rogers has a bunch of other vendors too. And if you go to our main webpage, pigtrailhd.com, and at the top there's a banner that scrolls with different messages. There's about 5 of them. One of them is the Rally Off Exit 86. So if you click that, it'll take you to the rally page as well.
Yeah, and it's hard to overstate because you guys have that huge lot behind the dealership in Rogers.
Yeah.
And I mean, that thing is wall to wall with vendors. I mean, I know Mike and I walked it last year and it's like row after row after row after row of vendors. So it's pretty cool. It's like to see.
Yeah, and this year we're incorporating some parking back there. So hopefully that'll give people a better shopping experience too. If they buy some stuff, they can go walk it back to their bike. So if you get there early, you can park on the back lot this year.
You did set off a preferred parking spot for me, right?
Yeah.
Right where I'm going to be sitting, just pull my bike up where I'm supposed to be and sit on it.
Yeah, you're going to have to bring your bike in because people are probably going to be asking you questions about it.
That might not be a bad thing. We can do that. Yeah, probably have to bring Firecracker's bike in. It's getting some more upgrades. The parts are in, but they ain't painted yet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I may be losing you guys.
Yours going to be a silhouette tonight.
Right.
Yeah, right?
Just chilling in
Tis
the dark.
season.
I can hear y'all, but my laptop might be having a moment here. So.
Well, we can see you.
Yeah.
We can see your silhouettes, and don't turn sideways if you pick your nose.
Put a voice changer on him like he's in witness protection.
So, Kyle, I saw something new posted on the BBB side. I don't know if you know anything about it, but it was something that I'd asked about in the past, and I'm not sure it's exactly the way I would prefer, but it's a progress that looks like they're having a bike show this year.
Yeah, so they're the Rogers Heritage High School is hosting a bike and car show, which the high school is not that far down the road from them. I can't remember which program at the school. Maybe they're automotive or maybe they have a shop class or something that's hosting it. So there we go. Now I can see you guys.
I'm trying to get quicker, Jay. Trying to get quicker.
No worries.
Yeah,
Don't
so
worry.
they're doing a custom car and bike show, which could be really cool and help the next generation of young people get inspired about cool cars and motorcycles.
Yeah,
a
I'm
great,
just guessing
you know-
there's not going to be a beer vendor there on the high school parking lot.
No, but it is progress.
Yeah, it's a step. It's a
So
step.
definitely has some potential to help enhance the rally.
Yeah, and I always love the bike shows and stuff. Which you guys do a bike show for is it Spring Fling?
No, it's in June.
Is it June?
Rumble,
yeah,
the Rumble Rally.
Rumble Rally.
Rumble Rally.
Harley's rally. We partnered to do a bike show for that, and there was like 60 bikes this year. It was pretty solid.
Yeah. Did Grom Kid win again? I wasn't able to stay the whole time.
No, he didn't. I can't remember what he took. So he got second in his class, maybe. But he did good. He added some cool parts to his bike, and it was pretty exciting.
I'd say by spring, Firecracker's bike is going to be pretty solid showing for a bike show. So we'll probably be doing some more of that next year, bringing it, and even if it's just 1 day events to go put it in bike shows, give some of the brands that have donated to it a little love, putting in a show, see what we can do.
Yeah, well, next June we'll be doing it again.
We'll put them on our calendar.
If it doesn't interrupt with any of your other events, bring it down.
Yeah, that's the thing is like it's at the point of having to pick and choose what events the sooner people put stuff out, the sooner we start planning around it. I think next year we're not going to do a full week at Sturgis or Daytona or anything like that. Try and do 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend things. Maybe just go to Sturgis for now that Firecracker's done her 1K in a day. I have this thing where I tell her anything under 1,000 miles is local. We can do it in a day.
That's a good, nice. I see what you did there.
Yeah, so now we can make it 2 Sturgis in a day, spend 2 full days, and then ride home. It's a 4-day weekend.
Let her have a little fun that first night, and then recuperate the second night and get prepped and ready for it. Kyle, I try to ask this every time, but what was your first bike? How'd you get into riding?
So my first bike, I was a dirt biker when I was a kid. Me and my brother saved up and went and bought a dirt bike, XR80. No, it was an XR100, and it was a little too big for me. And I peeled out my dad's my driveway, and he ended up helping me get an 80 dirt bike, and we used to go out to my uncle's property and ride and do stupid crap. So that was my kickstart. And I used to ride on the back of my dad's bike when he'd go on a ride every once in a while.
Yeah, I feel like everybody in this area starts on dirt.
Right.
Yeah. I know I started on dirt.
It's a good, easy way to get into it. And my kid's got a dirt bike.
Not to offend anybody that didn't start on dirt, but some of the best riders I know, I mean, that's one of the things a lot of them have in common. You ride on dirt and in a farm and through the woods, you learn to be looking ahead for tree limbs and where the ruts are and where the ground is changing. And, you learn to be a better judge of the road conditions, and you're watching all these obstacles that you have to avoid, where when you start on the street, I think some people are a little less aware until they have something happen, and then they become hyper aware, like my wife.
Well, and you learn to manage traction and stuff too. Being able to handle a dirt bike, where you're always sliding the back end out and stuff. Once you're on the street, you're better equipped to correct if it's not something you've never experienced in your life.
Yeah, a little oil on the road or water, or you catch some wet paint or something, and like, okay, well, I did that, and keep on going down the road instead of freaking out. Had to lay her down, bud.
Yeah.
So Kyle, I did have another question. Do you want me to, Jay, or you want me to
No, go ahead.
So BBB was Bikes, Blues and BBQ and Rally Off 86 are pushed forward. Is it 2 or 3 weeks this year from normal?
Well, you go back in time, the rally's been between the third weekend of September and the first weekend of October. It's only gone into October like 3 times.
Yeah, my shirt says October 5th through 8th, so 2022.
2022 it did. But if you go back even 2012 maybe, there was a couple times. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good, bro.
Yeah, cough I can't get rid of. But it's usually the 3rd to 4th weekend in September.
Yeah, because I know, when we heard the news that Bikes, Blues and BBQ was moving forward, I want to say it was 2 weeks. That sounds right. Like it was pushed forward 2 weeks this year. There had been so much coordination, I feel like, between Bikes, Blues and BBQ, Rally Off 86, and then Bike Fest Eureka Springs, all kind of being one sort of mega area of 3 different events.
Kyle, I'm going to tell you, whiskey will numb your throat, whatever's going on, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you haven't heard me cough once yet, have you?
I might have to, guys. All right.
I just bought some pretty good moonshine there in Branson if you need to run up the road and get you some.
Yeah. Sounds tasty.
They sell something called salted caramel moonshine. It's like drinking a liquid butterscotch Werther. And it's like, it is.
Sounds right up Jay's alley.
Yeah,
what were you drinking last week? Chocolate Crown?
What do you mean?
We got some of that here recently. Well, I didn't, but a buddy did too.
I'll be right back.
It's all right. It's good with root beer.
The Chocolate Crown?
Yes. It tastes like a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, see, this is like you just have a different taste than me. I tried your Amaretto Dr. Pepper, and I was
it's not for everybody.
No, it was just fine. Different strokes. Not going to yuck your yum or whatever. Oh, yeah, we got John in here now. Finally, way to show up late, John. Jeez.
Yeah, geez, John.
Were you editing videos or something?
18 minutes left, and you finally show up.
Well, while waiting on Kyle to come back, I know that you threw it up on the screen, Chase. But yeah, just speaking of bike shows, Spring Fling, Kyle does support a bike show that the Witchcraft Cycle Works does during Spring Fling. So that's another opportunity for us to come show off the Sport Glide ST and whatever we get done to it this winter. But yeah, we're going to make some more substantial changes to it.
Yeah, and I know, I do a lot of local stuff. Mike, you're obviously not local, but you obviously come to most of the decent sized stuff in this area too. And Picture Harley-Davidson, just shoot from the hip, pretty much supports about every event I go to locally, So I feel pretty safe saying they're kind of involved in at least 80% of the happenings in this area. So it's a big deal because there's awesome riding and awesome folks around here and people organizing, but you've got sort of the titan of Pig Trail Harley-Davidson kind of always helping out with stuff, which is probably, I would assume, has helped the growth in the community and everything all around.
Yeah, and Kyle can speak more to this, but I think that's one thing people don't understand about the Harley-Davidson cult or culture, however you want to look at it.
I like the second one.
Yeah, the culture. But dealerships put a lot. Good dealerships put a lot of effort into local events and put a lot of money into them, and that money's not free. That's coming off their bottom line. So they've got to make money on bikes that also help them do these things for the culture, and I'm okay with that. I think that's great. I see comments from people who talk about the dealership in their area never does anything, never has anything going on. Every time they go in there on a Saturday, it's dead. There's nothing, there's no events or no barbecues or no bike nights. And, I know Renegade does a great job of that. I know Pig Trail does a great job of that. And maybe part of that's just because we have really good riding. So we have a really good culture in this area, that's active. But, I hear stories from other parts of the country online. They're like, my dealership sucks. And I think we're very fortunate to have, businesses like that. Lake of the Ozarks does they support Bike Fest, and they have multiple other events throughout the year and stuff. But to have good dealerships that support our lifestyle and the events and give us things to do and to ride for. Sometimes it's charity events. I did a ride with Kyle for Grandma's house at Spring Fling, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of good that comes out of that, and it's really important to have a good, strong dealership in your area, and we're lucky to have those.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah, we try to do something a few times a month, and there is a cost to it, like Mike said, but you guys buy your motorcycles not to just commute.
Yep.
You do it out of the enjoyment, so you gotta have activities for people that so they can use their product. So that's the purpose. And some of them aren't even product related, it's just coming to the dealership for a meet and greet and joke around, because we want to have a relationship with our riders, and so they feel welcome coming to the dealership, and try to know them by their first name. You don't know everybody, but I think it helps with just the ownership experience.
Yeah, I know we did. We were up there with Support Bikers during the Ladies in Leather sort of meet and greet thing. And I've done 20 events this year, so I don't remember what was that, May, maybe April, May, that we did the Ladies in Leather thing at Pig Trail Harley-Davidson.
Oh yeah, they did a meet and greet for them. It was about that time. Well, it was close to Spring Fling.
Yeah. I'm like I say, I've done so many events between here and there. I don't remember exactly when it was, but we had a Ladies in Leather meet and greet, which was really cool. Met a lot of really cool ladies, and it's just having a spot to do it, because John Road Reality was saying and thing, if you don't have that local support, I mean, everything takes money and time and organization, and it's work. People may not realize how much work goes into all those events and all that the planning and the fun and the music and the vendors and everything. I mean, it's like a year-round project to keep that stuff rolling.
Yeah, totally.
Road Reality commented his local dealers closing permanently at the end of the month, and that's tough. I hate to hear that for any of the dealerships. I mean, nobody wants to see people lose jobs or lose options and stuff like that. But I talked about this in the recent videos. I mean, sales have globally have declined year over year. I mean, what was it, Kyle? Like 2006 or 7 was the heyday, and they sold over 300,000 units, and now we're selling just over 100,000 units a year globally for Harley-Davidson.
Yeah.
So when sales decline that much, the dealership network has to decline, or they're all living off of bread and water instead of steak and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad deal, man. Because some people, it leaves them without a dealer for a few hundred miles, and of course the dealership can't afford to do business if they can't make money. And not only have sales declined, but cost of doing business is inclined. Yep. So you're being pinched, just like the consumer's being pinched.
Yeah, I talked to a dealer, I won't say who, but their insurance carrier quit insuring dealerships, and I guess the other carriers knew that this one dropped out, so they didn't have to be as competitive, and their insurance went up over $100,000 for a year. That's not what they paid. That's just what the increase was.
Yeah, we've had a substantial as well. It's crazy. So, I mean, that's just one area, and you just got to do your best to manage. And, we stress the importance of a good customer experience, which, we're not perfect, but we'll go to the ends to make it right for people, because we don't want to see people walk away from the sport. Well, we can't afford it.
What's something that or something else that the consumer, the outside person may not think of, but from the dealer side is kind of important?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like we just talked about insurance going up, and
I could talk about something that Kyle probably can't.
Go for it, Mike.
And Kyle doesn't need to comment. I wouldn't want him to get any trouble because I'm sure he's not supposed to. But as I understand it, under the current leadership at Harley-Davidson, the dealer margins have shrunk substantially. So even though prices are going up on bikes, how much the dealerships are making per bike is less. And what a lot of people don't understand during COVID, they saw a lot of these bikes that were being sold for well over MSRP. Well, during COVID, there was a shortage of supply. Plant shut down for a month here, that kind of thing. Well, if there's a demand and not enough supply, that drives the price up. But Harley-Davidson, as I understand it, has this program where you can buy like fleet vehicles or used vehicles or something like that through an auction process. And dealerships were paying more than MSRP to get high demand models on the floor so they'd have a bike for somebody. So obviously if bike sells for $22,000, they pay $24,000 for the bike just to get it. They've got to sell it for more than that to make any money off of it. I mean, they've got expenses, building, lights, employees to pay and everything else. So then a $22,000 bike is selling for $28,000, $30,000. And that was something else that happened during COVID that people didn't understand. And they just saw it as dealerships were being greedy, but they didn't understand dealerships were actually paying more than MSRP for some of those bikes they were selling.
Yeah, and the one thing consumers don't always look at, their trade value went up at that time too. So it was a relative swing. So dealers were charging more, but your trade went up in value. And I don't know, it seemed a lot easier then than it is right now because trade values have gone the other way and bikes aren't bringing as much new, which makes it feel back in 2016, 2017, I look at things relative. What is it relative to your trade or whatnot? Just, you don't always see it whenever you're not in the business. It's easy for people to, call dealerships, but I can assure you, if you worked in a dealership and saw what we saw every day, you'd have a different opinion.
What does the Street Glide Ultra MSRP for right now, Kyle? I mean, off the top of your head?
It's low 30 something.
Okay, I was talking to a buddy this week who has bought two bikes brand new in his lifetime. One of them was an 03 Ultra. He paid $18,300 22 years ago for that bike.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, and people are complaining that these bikes are $25,000 and up, but what do you think $18,000 was worth 22 years ago compared to today? What was the price of eggs 22 years ago compared to today? Is it doubled?
Oh, more than.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, with kind of COVID, anything recreational was crazy during COVID, and it hasn't really recovered, or it's sort of seemingly permanently warped the market on a lot of stuff, whether it be motorcycles or, like Jay and I were talking about kayaks, just everything kind of got crazy for several years, and it should be back to normal, but there's still factors that like the armchair quarterbacks don't know or are still ongoing, or, issues, the supply chain and everything. It's all so incredibly more complicated than folks think it is. You don't just like spit something out, drop it on a boat and send it over or whatever. There's a lot involved in everything. There's a lot of money involved in everything.
Yeah, I just did the calculator, and $18,300 in 2003 is the same buying power as $32,600 today. Yeah. And everybody keeps saying, well, Harleys have gotten expensive. Harleys haven't gotten any more expensive today than they were 25 years ago.
Have you priced a F-250 Platinum? $93,000 for a pickup truck?
That's right. I can't price an F-250 Platinum.
Yeah, I know price Platinum, but they're not in my price range. I know that.
I just wanted to hurt my feelings, so I looked it up the other day. Well, Kyle, on the flip side of that, though, what's something that really makes you smile, something that just gives you some joy that you see at the dealer, maybe often or maybe not that often, but something you just kind of, like, yeah, okay.
What keeps me going?
The warm and fuzzy.
I got to deal with a lot of tough decisions, and whenever stuff goes wrong and you got to write a check, it can get pretty stressful being a general manager or owner in this business. But whenever you get the customer that sends you a text, call, email, not a survey, but a personal call, they stop by your office and, tell you how good one of your employees took care of them. And, you see that grin on their face, whether it was a bike purchase, a service experience, parts, those are the things that keep me going from the days that are, retail's tough. It's stressful. We're the boots on the ground with customers. So whenever stuff goes wrong, we hear about it. But when you get those moments, man, it's like fuel. And it transforms your day. I'll be honest, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. That positive from the customers
whenever the personal, we get people that share surveys or do Google reviews, and those are great and I love them. But whenever they make a point to go out of their way to stop and see you, call you, personally email you, it's a different level to me. That means we impacted them, and it makes you proud of your team, and that you get to be part of a life-changing experience. Because motorcycling, for a lot of people, man, it's a life-changing experience. People get divorced and they go into a whole new season of life. Maybe they're brand new married, single, who knows, death in a family. They just met a new family in motorcycling, and I see it as a life-changing experience for a lot of people.
And you never know where two wheels is going to take you.
Yeah,
it may be down the street, and you may end up with some new friends because you went somewhere and took a chance. You never know where two wheels is going to take you.
I feel like it allows you to be a part of something that maybe other activities are a little tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle, you saying that, I know it's kind of a popular thing to say about, people only share the negative, but maybe I'm a little bit, maybe I'm just different, or maybe I see it differently. But I know I am super happy to shout out positive experiences, and if somebody goes above and beyond, like, I'm not just like cool and never say anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the people I know, like if people are having good experiences, they're sharing them, and I guess you probably know better, or, whether that's true on your end, because I don't think any of us are in customer service necessarily. So,
yeah. And, you get to hear them, and it's easier to vent whenever you're frustrated. It really is. You think about how busy people are in life. We all got these cell phones, and we're keeping up with this and that. And so, life gets super busy. So when something goes wrong, it's a little easier nowadays, I feel like, to let out your frustrations.
Yeah.
So it's natural. I don't get offended. I mean, unless somebody's just overly, but.
Yeah, I was about to say, Witchcraft. We got probably 4 people on the screen right now.
Right.
That a lot of their life has been changed by motorcycles.
And 2 of them are going to blame me for them having a social media channel. And Witchcraft would be the third.
I always say you get me into it, and that's a good thing. I don't mean that bad.
I know, but Witchcraft likes to tell people it's my fault they do social media.
Right.
So it's them as well. I met Jay coming back from Adam Sandoval's event. I mean, he was there and I was there, but we didn't meet there. We met at a restaurant having breakfast on the way home, 20 miles away, and then, he started doing content, and I started following him. And, now when we go to events, we try and plan routes around where our friends live in other states so we can stop and see them. Or if we have a day off work, we meet somewhere in the middle, 300 miles from home, just to have lunch.
Yep. And that was good food at a great. Speaking of pricing and food, that little place had good prices.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, you've probably heard of Drasco.
Yeah,
kind of halfway between me and Jay. So I had a day. It was what would be a holiday for certain class of employees. Not everybody gets it off, but I had it off. And Jay's like, I could take it off. And so we said, okay, we'll meet you in Drasco. We've never been there, and we'll have lunch. And, that's part of this culture and this experience is, I mean, how many other hobbies do people drive 200 miles to have lunch with somebody and then drive 200 miles further back home?
I don't think they do.
The long beard Mike.
That was the day me and Mike met out in front of that house.
2021?
22. Spring Fling 2022. Yeah, I was
Nice.
Sarah will tell it. I saw you and I knew you had posted on social media that you were going to be there. And I saw you and I was like, dude, it's that guy riding in the Ozarks that I watch on YouTube. And I don't know, it's awkward if I walk up to him and like say something. And then Mike talks to me for like 2 hours.
I try and tell everybody that that's part of why we go to events like that. And like why we went to Milwaukee. I met 2 or 3 people at Milwaukee that live in that area that might not have ever met me. And they stopped me and said hi. And we talked for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes. And some of us shared a meal at a table at the concert and stuff like that and became friends. And, it's just, to me, these are my people. And I love getting to say hi to them because that's kind of what recharges me as a creator is, when you make these videos, a lot of times you get a lot of negative feedback, especially when it gets into politics or financing parts of Harley-Davidson or motorcycles. And people want to be, very negative. You get people on there that aren't even riders that, want to talk smack. And it can be very, aggravating, frustrating. It takes the joy out of it. But then you go to an event and somebody says, oh, that video you did this for me, or did that for me. When we went to Daytona, we had a couple that we were messaging. They wanted to know where we were going to be. They wanted to meet us. They were looking for her firecracker. They wanted to meet her because she had inspired his wife to start maybe trying to learn to ride or things like that. And so those kinds of experiences at events are what, regenerate my, recharge my battery to keep doing content.
Yep. Same. Like if somebody says, hey, thank you, for the information in the video or, hey, look, your link saved me 10% or 5% or whatever, that puts a smile on my face. It's like, hey, thanks for the help or thanks for saving me money. I'm like, I got you, brother.
Yeah.
Listen, man, don't let him know I need that viewership. All right. Don't tell him to change.
Hey.
I had when the new Harleys come out, there have been some people who were aggravated or frustrated or didn't understand these new models. They haven't rode them, but I had a guy post on a video I did on the Street Glide Ultra, and he just kind of went off about that it was terrible and it was bad, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, but why? And I said, you're just ranting that it's bad and terrible, but you never explained to me one reason why you thought it was bad or terrible. I said, I'm happy to have a conversation, but I can't have that conversation if I can't understand your viewpoint and why you think it's terrible. And he emailed me and he said, I took my comment down. You were right. I was just ranting. And then and we started going back and forth through email, and he was telling me his aspects. So I'm like, okay, but all those things can be added in the parts and accessory. And the advantage is that now the customer who didn't want lights on the tour pack doesn't have to pay for them and then take them off and throw them away because he didn't want them anyway because he wanted his tour pack to be quick detach and he didn't want to have to mess with lights. You could still have what you want, but someone else didn't have to pay for it. How's that a bad thing? And he was going on and on. He's well, I see your point, but still blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so have you rode one yet? He's like, well, no. And I said, I tell you what, you go do a demo ride and then come back and talk to me. Then you'll be on the same plane I'm on. You'll have rode one. He emailed me 2 weeks later and he said, I ordered one. He's like, thank you.
It makes a difference.
Kyle's in witness protection.
Kyle's in witness protection. Carly's looking for him.
Yeah.
He posted some bikes online.
He violator. Actually, guys, I'm going to have to get off of here.
Hey, Kyle, thank you for stopping by tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you for everything you do for all us motorcycling, general public. Thanks for putting on the events that you do, and thanks for sponsoring the events that you do, and sponsoring folks in the chat. And thanks for giving us a little history about yourself too. And I did not know that y'all's dealer was sure enough family owned back from the beginning. So that was cool. Some cool history that I appreciate.
And y'all go up to Pig Trail Harley-Davidson next weekend. I should have looked the dates at. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th?
First to the 5th. Right. We'll be jamming. If you want to come up this weekend, we'll be jamming. Hopefully, I'll see all of y'all. I'll be out.
The 3rd's going to be the best.
Deals under the bike tent.
The 3rd's going to be the best day to be there. When you go on the 3rd, tell them that you stopped by and talked to Riding in the Ozarks, and he told you to go inside and ask for the Riding in the Ozarks discount.
No.
That's a plus 3%.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him what the discount is, Kyle. You can make it up. You can tell him. You can tell him. You're giving him a great deal.
We got a Riding in the Ozarks tariff.
Riding in the Ozarks tariff. If you come in and mention Mike, we'll charge you $1,000 extra.
It'll be worth it. It'll be big and beautiful. All right. Hey, thanks for letting me join. Appreciated talking with you guys. If y'all are heading to the rally, safe travels. All right.
Be safe out there, Kyle.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later, brother.
Let's go. Well, heck, now we just got Mike.
Sarah thinks I'm only worth $5 off.
Right?
This isn't an Arby's coupon.
Shit, Arby's doesn't give $5 off coupons anymore. I don't know what you're No, but anyway, I know a lot of the chat's local. XAN, you ain't been around here in a minute though, so I'm gonna call you out on that. But so Mike, you'll be up at Pig Trail Friday. What's the time for your meet and greet at Pig Trail again?
12:30 to 2. And then we'll probably, if anybody wants to join us, take a scenic ride through War Eagle Mill and back around to Eureka Springs. When we leave there, I'm not doing a planned ride just because BBB is so busy and there's so much traffic. But if somebody wants to hang out until we're done at 2, then they could ride with us the back way over to Eureka Springs. And we'll probably go straight to the Cat House, get us some dinner, and have our meet and greet from 5 to 7 before we boogie out.
Awesome. I'll probably be up there, creeping around Mike too, if anybody's interested in meeting me. You can meet me probably. I live like 10 minutes from Pig Trail Harley-Davidson, so it's a softball.
Right. Ride my bicycle.
Yeah.
If I'm drinking out of a plastic Coke bottle and I don't want to share, don't take it personal. Right. Whiskey's expensive.
No, it's fine. Well, we want to wrap it up, Jay?
Yeah. Anybody got any other questions? Anything they need to prep?
There was one question earlier that somebody asked. I don't know if you guys want to address it, if Brian's still in here, but he did ask earlier, and I don't know if Kyle's already gone. It's kind of a Kyle question. But he asked if they did Eagle Rider as part of Pig Trail or something separate. He was just curious if there were rallies nearby, if he thought about loading up on bikes and taking them, kind of deal. I think they do rent bikes there through Eagle Rider at Pig Trail or something, don't they? It would be on their website if they do.
I believe so.
I was trying to find the comment.
It was very early on. I copied and pasted it because I knew it would go away.
Yes, at 7:15.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's way up there. There we go. Eagle Rider Party. Here's when they're really Mike knows more about that than me for sure. If he knows anything.
They do have their website, rentals and tours, and I thought they did. I just don't know. It says 10 models available to rent at Eagle Riders Rogers. So I don't know exactly how that works, but you can rent motorcycles through Eagle Rider there in Rogers. When you click that link, it takes you to that website. And I don't know exactly how that relationship between Harley and Eagle Rider works, but I've been told as a content creator that, if I was going somewhere and needed to rent a bike through Eagle Rider to let Harley know, they might be able to help out. So I'm sure there's, some kind of partnership at the very least. Well, Bagger wants to know if there will be any nudity and strong sexual content at BB&B.
Well, if Steve goes to BBB, there will definitely be strong sexual content. Now, I don't know about the nudity, but
I mean, $20 is $20, Steve.
I mean,
I'm trying to share the Eagle Rider thing, but I'm getting a StreamYard error, so I can't share it. But anyway.
Yep, I don't know if I can present anything or not.
Yeah, it's telling me there's remove media from the stream before sharing other media. I'm like, I ain't sharing anything.
Oh no, you're stacked out here. Hold on a second. Let me.
Oh, I think I just saw it. Yeah.
Get that. There we go.
Who can get there first?
Right.
I've got it if somebody wants to put it on the screen.
No.
That's just that. No. You probably have to unload the media. I have it down here, but it won't let me put it on the screen.
I think it's trying. There we go.
Yep. Yeah. Had to unplug it and plug it back up.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they've got a whole rental page on here. You can pick dates and bikes and everything. So all on the Pig Trail Harley-Davidson website.
I need a Chase Adventure sticker for this cup. This was a Mach 1 cup, and somehow that sticker got peeled off. There's a JS sticker on it and a Let's Ride Challenge sticker.
I'll say I've got my very artsy nude. I've got her covered with a little bit of Chasing Adventure right back there.
Yeah, I got a Bob and Tam on here.
You're right, XA. And bike parts are not cheap. You know, if somebody's digging my chili, you make it rain. We'll talk about it.
Right.
Oh, I almost removed myself from the stream as opposed to removing the media. That would have been
perfect. That would have been perfect.
Bye, Chase. No outro or nothing. Let's see, Brian. Live near Tulsa. Nearest place is Rogers. Tulsa has some rallies and nothing to rent.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I have my own stories about Tulsa. It's not Harley-Davidson related, but I don't really
were you part of the Tulsa King family?
No. I mean, I wish, maybe. I guess I don't know. No, I had an unfortunate experience at my dealer there a few times, which is why I now go to St. Louis until Mach 1 opens for me.
It shouldn't be too much longer now, huh?
Yeah, you know, they got the foundation laid a week or so ago. Once they get them poles up, it should be pretty quick. But yeah, they're as far as I know, they're still aiming for December, which at this point is only a couple months away.
I didn't get to watch the video, but I saw some thumbnails and headlines about it. So did they buy the Indian Triumph dealership?
Yeah, it is now a Mach 1 Indian.
Okay, and then they're opening a second store for other brands?
Yeah, for BMW and Ducati. It's a separate building between Harley and Indian, or I think it's between Harley and Indian? Nonetheless, completely separate dealership, but yeah, they'll have two dealerships.
So they'll have Indian and Triumph and Ducati and BMW.
Yep. That's what the joke was. It's taken them so much longer than they thought to get the BMW Ducati dealer built, that they got bored and bought another dealership to go ahead and start selling motorcycles.
Right. Look for test ride videos on Chase's channel coming soon.
Yep. Yeah. I was told I had access to all the keys, so I'll be down there as soon as I can.
So are you going to ride Indians?
Yeah, I'm gonna ride Indians. I'm gonna ride Indians, probably Triumphs, probably everything. Like I say, I mean,
well, you know, I'm just say, to be fair, whatever you like, if you do a Challenger, you should go down the street and then ride a Road Glide. I bet Kyle will hook you up, you know, just so you have a fair comparison back to back. When I used to do more demo rides, I would go to Bike Fest and I'd ride everything at the Harley demo trailer one day, and then I'd go to the Indian dealer trailer the next day and ride everything they had there.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I think, you know, obviously I've been talking to, it just came up on a year. We met Courtney a year ago at Bikes Blues, right after Bikes Blues and Barbecue. And so, of course, we've been talking to them the whole time. But now this is my first real proper conversation with Kyle. So no, I'm happy to go test out the Harleys. Everybody calls me the BMW guy. I'm like, no, I've just owned a few. I'm not brand loyal necessarily. I'll ride any bike, you know.
Well, I love riding motorcycles. I mean, there is something for me about Harley-Davidson, at least at this point in my life, that I like better. But I've rode everything Indian has in the lineup. You know, 2 years ago we rode everything when the Pursuit came out. I went and rode it. You know, so
Yeah.
I pretty much rode what they have right now. There's not been any major changes other than I think I rode the new Super Chief the year it came out. That was the last time I rode Indian.
Is that the one with the little quarter fairing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear good things about that fairing. I hear it's really small, but it actually does a pretty good job. I've never ridden one, but that's what I hear.
Well, you know, I've been working on a video of the dumbest thing bikers say, and that's like, you know, you buy a motorcycle to have the wind in your face, and then you put a windshield on your bike.
Right.
That's a dumb thing to say, because if you think that by putting a windshield on, you don't get any wind in your face, I mean, unless you're running a 22-inch windshield, you know, or something that you're looking through, you're still getting wind in your face.
Or one of those 24-inch windshields on the Gold Wings that are like back here.
Yeah, and nobody says if you're wearing a full face helmet, well, you're not getting wind in your face.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on. So let's.
Yeah, you got that big old fare. Why don't you just drive a car? I mean, sir, you go ride 1,200 miles on my bike and tell me it's the same as riding your car.
Right. The guy who's riding that 1998 Softail Custom with no windshield to the bar and back is going to tell me all about putting miles down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I do love an unfaired bike around town. You know, like, you know, just a naked whatever, you know, headlight and handlebars. That's awesome when you're just kicking around town.
Yeah, my Dyna's got a Road Warrior fairing on it, but it's quick detach. I can take it off. But you know, yeah, there's different. Like Brian said, there's bikes are like tools. There's different tools for the different jobs. My point is like having this attitude of, oh, you should, you know, the purpose of buying a motorcycle is to have your wind in your face, so you shouldn't have a windshield. That's a dumb thing to say. That's like saying that, you know, well, you should use a screwdriver and not a power drill when you're trying to build a deck or a house. Yeah. You know, okay, depends on how much of it you're doing. If you're putting one screw in to fix that blind that's fallen, then that's one thing. But if you've got a house to build, you're going to use a power screwdriver.
Yeah, let me tell you, gravel hurts a lot less if there's a windshield in between you and that one rock coming off of that truck.
Oh, yeah.
The sand still sucks.
But yeah, no, I will definitely do a comparison. So I've got the only BMW that compares to Indian and Harley baggers and dressers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. I've got the three-way.
Yeah, and it might have been the year we met, but I rode the R18 when they did demo rides there at Rogers during BBB. So
yeah, it probably was, because that was 22 is when they I think they had the trailer or the demo rides at what was it? What's it called? The John Q. Higgins out there.
I rode at the convention center over there.
Yeah, the convention center. I think they had that 22 and 23. Unfortunately, I went up there in 23 and it rained the whole time and they wouldn't let us take anything out, which was a bummer.
I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not picking on you, Chase, but BMW is kind of a pussy when it comes to demo rides. They told me that we had to have DOT helmets, but yet they didn't have DOT helmets.
Right.
Okay, you're in a state that does not require a helmet, and you didn't bring any to provide to people to use. And you know what they told me? Well, they couldn't provide helmets because if we wrecked with the helmet they gave us and we got injured, we could sue them. I said, well, that doesn't stop Harley-Davidson. They're not fucking scared. They bring demo helmets to every demo truck. They have them sitting on a table. If you don't have one, they give you one. And that's the thing is, if you're going to compete with Harley-Davidson, you can't hold back and, you know, half-ass it. If you're going to do demo rides at a rally where Harley-Davidson's at and Indian's at, you're going to have to do everything they're doing to, you know, compete. And you can't just put your toe in the water and say, oh, the water feels good, I'm good, and stand on the sideline. You got to get in there.
Unfortunately, when they did that, which was 22, 23, I believe, was when they had that demo truck here for BBB. Since then, last year and a half ago, they went from maybe 5 demo trucks in the U.S. down to 1. So unless you're like Sturgis or Daytona, you're not getting the BMW truck anymore.
Yeah.
Which is but yeah.
But that's kind of my point. If you're going to compete, you're going to have to commit and compete. And they didn't really commit and compete, and now they backed even further away instead of diving in.
Well, and I don't think, of course, here we go. We're getting into this discussion, right? I don't know if the R18 necessarily was to be a competitor to punch at the same weight so much as just expand their heritage line and sort of have an offering for people who would want that sort of thing. I mean, their bread and butter is so far away from the R18. I mean, when you're talking about the number of GSs and RTs that they sell is like the R18 is big,
Right, but they gave half a dozen content creators an R18 either free or at a deep discount to get them on the bike, took them on tours to Costa Rica and everything else. So they sure kind of made a play, but again, it felt like they were half in, and that was kind of my thing. And I think really, and I love Harley, but I think with the way leadership has been and people that have been turned off by the company in the last couple of years, they missed an opportunity. If they'd have played hard from 2021 up and played hard, I think they could have made more edge into the market. I think this was an area where a time period where Harley was weaker rather than stronger. Harley's put out less models, less bikes, less options. And so they could have moved in on that.
Wrong axis power bagger. Wrong axis power.
I'm too dumb to have this conversation. I just wish that they'd stock wheel bearings. That's if they could just keep those stateside, I'd be happy.
And yes, Witchcraft puts thousands of miles on bikes without a windshield. He does.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people who ride to the local bar and then want to bitch about ferrying bikes or touring bikes and this and that, and you don't do that. And I'm not trying to generalize everybody, but it's a comment I see from people like, oh well, why'd you buy a motorcycle and then put a windshield on it?
Yeah.
Well, and also you two are definitely outliers. In many ways, y'all are outliers.
What you trying to say? I rode the short bus to school?
No, I'm talking about Witchcraft.
Yeah, no. Talking about Bill and Ray.
Bill and Ray, yeah, y'all are. They broke the mold in many ways.
Right.
when y'all came about. So no, and I'm always striving to make it less painful. It's never painless, but if you got some easy ways to make that long ass day a little bit easier, like I'm here for it. Yep. I'm not ashamed to say I'm here for it.
Hey man, I'm never going to turn away from my cruise control again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna add to what Bill said about putting thousands of miles on a bike without a windshield. He's also put thousands of miles on a bike without a windshield in the rain.
Right.
He's also put thousands of miles on a bike on a trailer that doesn't work anymore. Ew.
Oh, that hurt.
That later.
I think you might have made him just go pour a glass of whiskey.
When they roll out new bikes.
Make a suggestion to HD that when they roll out the new bikes and have a riding event to invite hog members that ride more than X many miles annually, let the creators get hog members' feedback. Well, that's a great opportunity. I think the problem would be like when they roll out new bikes at the riding events there, that is it. It's a very small way of doing it. It's not like they've only got enough bikes for the creators, and we pretty much ride from 7:30 or 8 a.m. till 6 or 7 o'clock at night so that we can experience all the different models. Like last year, I rode 3 bikes a day for 2 days in a row, and then we flew out the next morning at 5 a.m. So it's pretty packed. It's pretty for the content creators to get their part of it. Now they could do another event, or it would be a suggestion just for content creators to do. Maybe bring a bike to a dealership and have an event at a dealership where the local hog members at that dealership that ride more than so many miles get to come try these bikes or something like that, and have a creator there to interview them. Did he say he was going number 1 or number 2?
I don't think he said. I think he just dipped out.
He did it once, so I'm hoping he's just going to pee, not number 2.
1 minute.
Yeah, Brian said maybe a half dozen people. Well, you could do that. I mean, you could do the mile monster people that do the most miles in the less ride challenge, maybe include them, things like that. But I think the other aspect might be that those people, I don't know if they would be content with a 3 or 4 hour ride on a bike to, give a perspective on it. These things are pretty structured. You're going to ride here. You're going to ride in a formation. No more than 8 people in the pack. We're going to stop here, here, and here. This is when we're having lunch. It's a very structured and, deal. But I'm not saying that they couldn't include hog members in something like that. But,
I was really saying, give me 1 minute, but I was only going number 1.
Yeah.
Oh. Now, it's kind of interesting watching, Mike, and honestly, you kind of turned me on to this just in general, like paying attention to motorcycle sales and not so much the numbers part of it, like, specific companies and revenue and all that kind of stuff. But it is kind of interesting over the past, 3, 4, 5 years to kind of watch which brands are doing what and kind of how many units they're moving, how many units are not, et cetera.
Well, and, not to get into brand loyalty or anything else, but I'm almost at the point that if somebody puts the word DEI or woke in a comment, I just delete it, because Harley-Davidson is no more woke than any other motorcycle company on earth. And if you don't think I'm right, you can go search for Honda North America Pride Week, and you will find a picture on Honda's North American website to this day with the Pride flag flying next to the Honda flag and the United States flag. It's still on their website from like 2022 when they did a Pride thing. They didn't take it down. Indian took all their stuff down and hid it after Harley got hit over DEI. But I had screenshots of their corporate compliance policy, and they were promoting DEI and LGBTQ stuff in their corporate, annual report just as much as Harley-Davidson or anybody else. But at the time, we had a administration that was trying to force that agenda on companies and stuff. And so, every time somebody says buy a Honda, Harley's woke, I just take a screenshot of that Honda flag and gay Pride flag and share it. I said, is that the Honda you're talking about? Yeah.
Well, and that's, Mike, I think I said this when that whole thing was blowing up and you had done a couple of lives or a couple of chats, around that whole thing. I think I said in there, I was like, what's funny is I haven't even looked, but I'm sure like BMW, for instance, has all that stuff too. It's just like, I don't know if it's a customer difference or an expectation difference or whatever, but like, I'm like, I don't care,
Well, and I think the thing is, a lot of these people that comment, they're not my regular motorcycle commenters that I see on all my videos. These are people that are political activists who see a thumbnail about this, or they saw all the Robbie Starbucks videos and they decided Harley was DEI and woke based on his videos. Even they're not Harley fans, but now anything they see about Harley-Davidson, they want to go on there and say, go woke, go broke, and they weren't consumers. They're not riders, or they're not serious riders, and they don't know anything about it. And that's part of it. I got a couple of videos. I don't usually do reactionary videos to channels I don't know, but I got a couple of them that have absolutely, I get all these comments, and they're bigger channels, 100,000 subscribers, 400,000 subscribers, that have put out bad content with misinforming consumers. And they build this negative, ideology about Harley-Davidson about something that they got wrong. And they didn't ask anybody, they didn't do any research.
It's rage bait, it's clickbait, whatever. You're just looking for views. If you post a thing of the week, and everybody's Googling that thing of the week, that happens. Brian, to answer your question, like Jay said, there will be barbecue at Pig Trail. I think the actual competition and everything happens down the main street in Rogers.
First Street or whatever that is.
Yeah, at the rail yard.
Yeah, the rail yard in Rogers.
It's on the BBB website, and it's called like the Inferno. And I've never been to it because I think it's really like a barbecue cook-off between different people. Hey, did you see somebody? I saw an arm in the background.
There's a ghost.
Somebody broke into the house. Hang on, I'll be right back.
It's a ghost.
That's
Jay,
how far away it is at all times.
Demonetized on our demonetization. We are double demonetized now.
They just took away the $0 they were paying us.
That's an airsoft.
Airsoft. Oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah, you got to put that disclaimer in there. You need to paint the tip orange. You know?
And it was orange. You didn't see it. It matched the pillow.
Okay.
Yeah. I say it just blended in. You know, it was only in frame for a second.
But yeah, Brian, I think to Jay's point, or Mike's point, I think it's an actual competition. Like, you can't just go get special fancy barbecue. Like, if you want to get the real pitmaster barbecue, you have to go during the competition when it's scheduled and sample it then. It's not just like 20 barbecue food trucks, you know?
Right. It's not. You've got to go when they're having the cook-off, and then it's up to whoever's doing the cook-off. If they have samples and they may be selling them, they may be giving them away. You know, I don't know what they're doing, but it's an Inferno barbecue cook-off contest that's judged, and it's not really, to me, it's not really for the public. It's for the participants.
Yeah. It's definitely not your go eat 20 different kinds of barbecue sort of ordeal. It never has been. Now there traditionally are a few food truck sort of things or vendors, whatever, that will come specific with barbecue, but it's kind of hit or miss as to where that is or when it's happening or whatever. You know, you just have to look on the website and see who's got the vendors.
Man, they packed that back lot with vendors at Pig Trail.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Mike and I, like I say, I walked around with Mike in 100 degrees last year during barbecue. It was hot.
Yeah.
And we walked up and down those rows, and
then the year before that, it was cold and raining, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. You always, if you have it in August, you know it's going to be hot.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. But in October, you could be hot, could be cold. I mean, we've gone to spring fling and we've had to scrape ice off the seat in the morning before we left the house.
Yeah.
So it's that time of year. One year we're all packing heated gloves, and the next year we're fine.
Yeah, and I think it seems like the weather in Arkansas has taken a turn for now. We're getting far enough to where maybe we won't get the fourth summer, or whatever it is. But I mean, we're in the 60s, 70s, pretty solid right now. So
speaks for yourself.
Where are y'all at in Little Rock?
Man, we're like 90. It was
really?
not today, but like Monday, Tuesday. It was I come home dripping sweat, hat stinking, had to throw it in the.
Oh wow!
In the wash.
Yeah, we've been ever since we got that rain. That 12 inches of rain in one day. It's been windows open at the house kind of weather. So
yeah, Shannon had the windows open today, but that's the first time since 2 or 3 weeks ago when it was cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bike Fest Lake of the Ozarks was pretty warm.
That's one of the warmer years we've had recently.
Yeah, last year was kind of overcast and it wasn't too rainy, but it was just a little gloomy, which I prefer. Like, I'm hot natured, so I will take 60 degrees all day, every day, Chicken lollipop. Well, why aren't you a vendor, Brian? Why aren't you over here slinging your goods?
He's got to go to Milwaukee and pick up his bike and bring it back and do the breast cancer awareness ride.
There you go.
But maybe next year he can have him a food truck or come down there and join into the contest.
I think it got kind of cut off because Kyle was getting into witness protection and, whatever. But I am really curious to see. I mean, so Bike Fest Eureka Springs was this past weekend, which I went up there, Bill and Ray from Witchcraft and everything were up there. And it felt like a Eureka Springs sort of decent weather bike weekend, not a big rally or anything like that, which I don't think anybody expected it was going to be a big rally. But the split, it does make me kind of curious to see where we're going to go with it. Is Bikes, Blues and BBQ Rally Off 86 going to be what it normally is, which it's for the past year or two, at least the Pig Trail and Eureka Springs part's been huge, I would say, relatively speaking. So I'm really curious. We've all been talking about it for months now, right? Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Yeah. It's split up. They moved the date. What's going to happen? So we're finally coming up on it to see what actually does happen.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this year makes a comeback or if it continues to trend down. I mean, I personally, I don't know the attendance numbers, but I feel like it's trending down ever since COVID. And Bike Fest in Lake of the Ozarks has been trending up for sure. And I don't know if it's the same people just choosing one over the other, or people who went to BBB from all over the country aren't coming there. Is all.
Yep. Since it's not down on Dixon anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and I liked the idea of it, which it being 3 separate rallies is a bit weird because, like I was telling you earlier, Jay, it's like you got 10 different flyers for like technically sort of the same event. Like to me as a rider, I feel like it's one event. It just happens spread across Rogers and Eureka Springs, but there's so much different information and everything. It was always kind of difficult to wrap your head around. Like, I just want to see a list of shit happening, not like everybody's little list.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. And having it, BBB doesn't want to let anybody outside of their official events use their name. So then people have started making up their own name for their event, and it confuses the consumer. What we're not doing is doing what's best for the consumer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know somebody had said, I believe it was at Lake of the Ozarks, like, I honestly can't remember, so I'm not trying to save their or hide their identity for witness protection, to whatever the innocent, spare the innocent, whatever. But somebody said that BBB got downgraded by Harley-Davidson from a tier 1 to a tier 2 rally.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah. So I know that means less finances, right, from the motor company, basically.
Less sponsorship or less things. The higher they are, the more they do for the event, the more they like providing demo trucks and how many demo trucks and how big a footprint they bring to have at the event and what they provide for the event. So it's a shame that it's got downgraded. It is now, from Harley's perspective, in the same class as Bike Fest Lake of the Ozarks. Bike Fest Lake of the Ozarks a few years ago got upgraded from stage 3 to stage 2 or class 3 to class 2 or whatever. But they're kind of in the same class and they get the same benefits as I understand it from Harley. By the way, did you see Brian's comments? If you want some chicken lollipops?
That's what I was saying, man. Why aren't you over here slinging that stuff?
He told you where he'd meet you at. You're not paying attention? I just looked it up, and that's only 167 miles. Shoot, for you, that's like a trip at lunch.
Right.
For the mile launch,
I'm laying far back enough. If somebody doesn't pop the comment up for me, I can't read it.
Yeah, he commented that he could meet over at Bartlesville. He'll make you some chicken lollipops, and you can meet at the local brewery.
Hey, I've got in-laws. Well, part of my in-laws in Bartlesville. So
Sounds like you guys are set for a hookup. I'm going to throw this out there for you guys because you guys aren't throwing this out there. For anybody that's watching off of my channel, make sure you go check out Jay Sorsby's channel and Chasing Adventures channel. I think both you guys need to throw a link to your channel in the comments for anybody who's not already subscribed to you that might be watching from my channel tonight, so they know where to find you. You guys, besides, how often do you do this live? And then what other kind of content do you do for anybody that might be new here tonight?
So we do this live every Thursday. We've been consistent, Jay. I think we've done it, 16 times in a row now? I believe.
Even if it was only 10 minutes.
We have done 16 live. So we do it Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central. Normally it's an hour long. We'll go longer or shorter depending on obligations and everything like that. But the goal is Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. We stream it from Jay's kind of the main channel. I also side stream it to my channel. Mike stream it to his channel right now. But I mostly make videos about pine trees on iron butts and bikes no one owns. So it's really exciting. Hopefully expand that a little bit more here pretty quick with some bike reviews from the local dealership that has been that I've been privileged to work with and interact with for quite a while now, and finally have some bikes to sit on and hopefully help them sell some bikes. But yeah, we get on here and it's supposed to be pretty lighthearted. Tonight was actually a little bit of a different situation than normal because we don't tend to be too structured. I guess tonight wasn't super structured, but normally we get folks on here just as a chat. It's supposed to be casual. It's supposed to be hang out, talk about stuff that's happening around, but no script, no nothing. and we just get folks on here, cool local folks or less than local folks, and just chat about stuff, And I know Jay was afraid to do a stream on his own, so he was like, "Hey Chase, you want to co-host a stream with me?" So here we are. He's not disagreeing. Okay, good. He's probably gonna send me a message. He's gonna call me after the stream, be like, "Bro, why'd you say that?"
I think his audio went out. He just couldn't hear what you were saying, so he was nodding.
Right.
Good. I planned it. I texted Shannon to unplug your headphones a little bit when I was talking.
Wait, you got her number?
Yeah.
I'm going to give Jay another shout out too. Every time I get him on a channel, I bring this up. Jay is really close to the epic 1,000 subscriber mark. He's at 977. So, even if you're not going to watch him, I would consider it a personal favor. Not that I'm going to return the favor, but if you go over and subscribe, help a brother out. Once we get him to 1,000, we just got to bump up the watch hours. We'll make some really clickbaity videos.
Right.
So I've got some thumbnails from Bike Fest we can use or something, or Spring Fling. Some bartenders slapping some guy, and then we can make some rage bait videos and get him over the 4,000 hour mark.
Why you shouldn't go to motorcycle and then smack him in the face?
I have video of people getting smacked in the face earlier this year.
As well, sir.
Yeah, between us, we can find some rage bait content.
Oh, for sure. I have a moral issue with it so far, so I haven't done it. But if we want to just get subs, yeah, let's do
it.
I've got 30 minutes of the Lake of the Ozarks police harassing the Hells Angels if you need it.
I did. I saw that. You posted some of that, didn't you?
I just posted a screenshot where he was taking pictures of their face and their cuts and stuff. But I mean, it was a bad deal. They literally pulled him over. They complied in every way. We were getting ready to pull out of the parking lot, and they stopped him dead in front of us as we were pulling up. So we had a front row seat. So, 3 minutes into this thing, I can tell this is not just a normal, hey, you got a tail light out or something. So I hop out and grab the cell phone and start recording for everyone's best interest. And I recorded 25 minutes worth of a 30-minute interaction. And I had to stop the phone once or twice and stuff, and it was getting low on battery. But they literally held them there till they got their media crew up there. The cop that had been interacting with them for 20 minutes went around the corner of the building. I didn't see this. Someone else saw it and told me about it. He went around the corner of the building behind us by the ice hole with the media crew, and they recorded a little segment where he's like, "Oh, something's going on. I got to go." And he takes off running, and they record it. Then they come out, and they record him interacting with them for a few minutes. Then they record him giving them tickets or warnings or something and letting them go. So 5 minutes after the media crew got there, it was done. But we detained them for 25 minutes till they got there.
Just so they could film this?
It sure appeared that way. And I'm not anti-law enforcement. I posted pictures of the Jefferson City motor cops that were there patrolling. I just don't. A traffic stop shouldn't be any longer than it takes to complete the traffic stop. Run their plates, give them their ticket, whatever. They're not supposed to detain you longer than necessary. And this sure felt like that's what they were doing. But I don't know. I mean, they could say they were waiting a half an hour to get the search for warrants back or who knows what. But it sure felt like it was a media stunt. And then they, of course, took pictures of their cuts and their license plates and their faces 25 minutes into the stop. So that wasn't for the purpose of identifying them or doing whatever they were doing for the stop. That was at the end of the stop. They said, "Oh yeah, we need to get this too."
Alleged harassment.
Alleged harassment.
Yeah, whatever it was interesting. And like I said, I'm not taking sides, but as a citizen, I don't feel that law enforcement did Bike Fest any favors acting like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, I would. That does not surprise me. Bike Fest is a way bigger event. Well, we went for the first time last year. I didn't know what to expect. I was just kind of like, all my friends are going to this bike rally, so let's go to this bike rally, And it's a big deal. Like, I am not surprised that Bike Fest is significantly bigger than Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue at this point.
I think one of the differences is in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, you have Downtown Rogers and Pig Trail participating in the event, 2 places, and that's it. And then you have Eureka Springs. And then you have riding. And at the Lake of the Ozarks, you have everybody looking to make $1. This is a tourist town that depends on tourism, and they got 20 bars at 20 different locations who are got welcome biker signs out, doing specials, got bikini bike wash girls in the parking lot, got a band going at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Thursday for whoever stops in there to eat or for the passport run or whatever else. The first time Chase went, we stopped at a place on the passport run, and he looked at the boats out there on the lake, and he looked at me, he goes, just what kind of goddamn lake is this?
That was H-Toads. That was when we went out there, and it was like we went out on the back deck, and I was like, these are just yachts on a lake.
They're literally, the bikes he were looking at are $50,000 or $500,000+ boats. Four big motors on the back. Yeah, they're $500 million boats out there all day long in these marinas. Multiple ones, not just one.
Yeah.
And it's not like when you go from Rogers to War Eagle Mill and you see the little marina there as you're crossing the bridge and a couple of,
Yeah, Beaver Lake ain't got no yachts on it last I checked.
Yeah, not like this. No.
I mean, when you got a lake with more shoreline than the state of California, you got to go big.
Well, and Lake of the Ozarks is really also a playground for wealthy people from Kansas City and St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's a couple hours from each, and wealthy people who want to get out of the city come down there for the weekend, and it's their rich playground. And that's, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's keeps those bars and the bartenders, gives them jobs, keeps all these things afloat and stuff. But there's a lot of bars, there's a lot of cool stuff. It's a good experience, and everybody in the town seems to support it. I don't really see, other than a few bars that have signs that say no colors, I don't see any negative Bike Fest stuff from any of the businesses. Few residents whine and complain about the street being shut down because they can't drive up and down it because they block it off their bikes on the strip. But
I think that's the difference. At least in the before COVID years, I think Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue was viewed as a big economic boon to Fayetteville. And even if people didn't like it or didn't like the crowd or didn't like whatever, it just kind of seemed like you kept your mouth shut because this brought in millions of dollars, and whatever. And all the businesses supported it and everything like that. And then that sort of changed over time. Then obviously Fayetteville kicked them out and they came to Rogers. And I don't know if maybe Rogers will kind of wise up or sort of ease up on that whole thing. But it seems like outside of the rail yard, Rogers has no interest in supporting Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, and if that's continues to be the case, then yeah, it'll just kind of be a rally that exists, and without local support, you're just not really going to make a big thing again. I mean, heck, I think Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, I was told at least years and years ago that it was number 3, I think, behind Sturgis, Daytona, and Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue in terms of attendance, number of bikes in town, everything like that. Like it was somewhere in the 300,000-ish range at its peak.
Yeah, it was in the top 5 for sure, and it kind of teetered between 5 and 3, always behind Daytona and Sturgis.
Yeah. And so I mean, it was a huge deal. I remember those years, being down on Dixon and having a million people in every direction, and it's not that anymore. Don't expect that. If you come here,
but the strip at Lake of the Ozarks very much resembles the attitude and the crowd at Dixon Street.
No, I was floored by how big and long the strip was at Bike Fest Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, good gosh, it goes down for like a mile, and there's just like bikes everywhere. And honestly, by the time you get to like Saturday, you better have your clutch hand in good working order. Well,
that's why we park and walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see bikes cruising, but I don't want to be one of them.
Yeah, I don't understand at this point in my riding career the draw of just spinning around in circles at 3 miles per hour. I don't get it. But apparently some people like it.
Well, guys, I need to get off of here. Mr.
Sure.
Mike, I appreciate you joining us once again, sir. Thank you for the shout outs. Thank you for the motivation.
No problem. I'm checking to see if anybody got over there and subscribed.
Oh.
I don't. You guys, his number hasn't gone up. Surely somebody in here can go
All
subscribe.
right, we're not leaving the stream until all of you are subscribed. Brian, I'm trying to pick out names I didn't know before tonight. Well, okay, Bader, he's probably already subscribed, but I don't know if you really want Bader's essence on your channel anyway.
Oh, it's already there.
Okay. Flipping Zippo, don't know about you.
Right, just going through. Shame the
just
chat.
scrolling.
Shame the
Just
chat
scrolling.
into
Name
subscribing.
Jay, yeah, loving bikes.
You think I won't? You think I won't call somebody out? I call Harley-Davidson out. I'll call out subscribers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the views and opinions expressed here do no way these are the opinions of the host and the guests themselves, in no way reflect any thoughts and opinions of Harley-Davidson Motor Co. or Pig Trail Harley-Davidson, or however that goes.
We sort of got there. You need to get your Miranda list down before you start.
We don't represent Harley-Davidson or Pig Trail Harley-Davidson in any way, shape, or form or fashion.
There you go.
Absolutely. Jay, you want to send us off, good sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again on episode number 16 for the Chase and Jay Show. Thank you to Riding in the Ozarks. Mr. Mike, thanks for joining us once again. Thanks to Kyle for stopping in and hanging out with us, even though he was in witness protection. Don't forget to stop by Chase's channel. Don't forget to stop by Riding the Ozarks channel. Don't forget to stop by my channel. Y'all be safe out there. Take care of one another. Won't nobody else. And
Pull up on me, brake checking the bird.